All right, the push to remove Shelby County Clerk Wanda Halbert is now headed to mediation. Both sides plan to meet October 30th, which puts the case on hold until early November. Former federal judge Bernice Donald is presiding over the mediation. Now, the complaint says Halbert's office has had issues with late reports, leasing problems, and unpaid rent totaling more than $30,000 owed to Millington. For Memphians who depend on the clerk's office for things like car tags and records, what happens next could affect everyday services. Now, Halbert sent out an email to the media saying that Shelby County and Millington leadership established a non-binding agreement years ago to serve the community by processing motor vehicle services at no cost, highlighting that the office of the Shelby County Clerk never had a rental agreement with Millington, nor were they invited to participate in same. It literally says insane. So I'm going to open it up to Otis, because Otis, you know a lot about this Wanda Halbert case. Build up some context here. Is this even worth it at this point?
Well, she has, 11 more months in office. She can't run again. So if people who are really wanting her out of office, it's probably worth it for them. I was a little struck by the fact that both sides agreed to mediation here. That was kind of unusual for something like this, because a mediation is trying to get both sides to agree. I don't know that that's going to happen here. And Judge Bernice Donald, I mean, she's a wonderful judge, has a long history. I was kind of surprised that she was picked as the mediator here. I think, she knows Wanda fairly well. So I was kind of surprised by that. But again, her role will be to try to get both sides to agree, not to impose some order. And I just don't know how these sides are going to agree.
So, Sam, I want to ask you if you know, what is the deal with the Millington beef? Because it seems like there's other beef with the clerk's office as well, but this one kind of popped up.
To be honest, I'm very confused by it and don't have much to add.
Okay.
It's yet another example of incompetence, I think, coming from the clerk's office. But like you said, she only has 11 months left to her term. The DA chose not to handle the case. The Tennessee Attorney General chose not to handle the case. We can't forget about that either. So the two people with jurisdiction to handle it declined. So unfortunately, I do think we may be stuck just for the remainder of the term. And I'm just not sure what there is to mediate. Either she's doing her job or she's not, and she thinks she's doing her job. So I'm not sure what they're going to accomplish.
So what are the next steps to get the clerk's office right, though?
Honestly, to get a new clerk. let's do that. And we're going to do that next year. I have seen over the last several months, despite what they're arguing about in Millington, that the clerk's office was better than it was. I had been there at least 2 times for tags. I had no problems. And it did seem like things were being addressed in some way. But again, the people who want her out still want her out, and we'll see what happens.
And I will say, in that email where she addressed that there was no rental agreement with Millington, she did have graphs of showing like the uptick in those motor vehicle registration renewals, and she had some data to back up how they were managing that flow. Yeah. But did we ever find out about the wheel tax deficit?
Yeah, I mean, it costs taxpayers about $10 million.
Right. And
I knew you were good for that.
Well, that's true. That's true, and that was on her. That was definitely on her.